He who has ears, let him hear. Matthew 11:15. If you are hearing this message right now, it is not by accident. You were meant to hear this. This is a divine warning, a final call to those who have been chosen but have not yet fully stepped into their purpose. Time is running out. The window to align with God's will is closing, and if you ignore this, the consequences will be greater than ever before. You have likely been feeling it deep in your spirit. A shift, a shaking, an urgency that you can't quite explain. You look around, and the world feels different. Something is happening, but most people are too distracted to see it. The spiritual battle that has been hidden for so long is now manifesting in ways that cannot be ignored. And those who are not spiritually prepared will be swept away by the deception, confusion, and chaos that is coming. This message is not to bring fear, but to bring clarity. God has been calling His chosen ones into position. He has been giving you signs, sending you confirmations, removing people from your life, closing doors that were never meant for you. He has been speaking, but have you been listening? Some of you have been feeling lost, isolated, or frustrated. That is not a punishment, it is preparation. God is setting you apart because He needs you awake, alert, and ready. The distractions, the toxic relationships, the old habits, they cannot come with you where you are going. This is why everything has been shifting so rapidly. God is clearing the path for you, but you must have the courage to walk it. This is the final warning. You cannot afford to delay anymore. The time to step into your calling is now. The enemy wants you confused, tired, and doubtful because he knows what will happen when you fully align with your divine purpose. He knows that once you wake up, you will be unstoppable. Many will hear this message and ignore it. They will think they have more time. They will continue living as if nothing is happening. Do not be one of them. You have been chosen for a reason. And the fact that you are here right now is proof that God is speaking to you. Listen carefully. What you do next will determine everything. Will you wake up and move in alignment? Or will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the distractions, the illusions, and the comforts that are designed to keep you asleep? The choice is yours, but understand this: there are no more delays. There are no more second chances. This is it. The prophetic signs, what's happening right now. But you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness so that this day should surprise you like a thief. 1 Thessalonians 5-4. If you have been paying attention, you know that something is shifting. You can feel it deep in your spirit. The world is not the same as it was even a year ago. The atmosphere is heavy. The spiritual tension is rising. The enemy is working overtime to deceive, distract, and destroy. But at the same time, God is moving. He is shaking the foundations, exposing lies, and positioning His chosen ones for what is coming. Everything that has been hidden is being revealed. Truth is coming to light, and those who have ears to hear and eyes to see will recognize the signs. But many will ignore them. Many will continue as if nothing is happening, blinded by distractions, false comforts, and spiritual complacency. Look around you. The systems of this world are crumbling. The financial markets are unstable. Governments are in turmoil. Morality is being twisted. What was once considered evil is now being celebrated. And what was once holy is now mocked. This is not a coincidence. This is prophecy unfolding right before our eyes. The deception is stronger than ever. False leaders, false prophets, and false narratives are rising, keeping people confused and enslaved to lies. Social media, entertainment, and mainstream influences are programming the masses into submission. People are being spiritually sedated. They are being conditioned to accept darkness as light. And many are falling right into the trap. But the chosen ones, you are being called to wake up, to see beyond the illusion, to recognize the signs that God is revealing. The spiritual war is no longer just hidden in the unseen realm. It is manifesting in the physical world. You see it in the sudden betrayals, in the unexpected losses, in the drastic changes that have been happening in your life. Nothing is random. The people who turned against you, the doors that closed, the storms that hit you, God allowed it because He is repositioning you. The distractions are increasing because the enemy knows his time is short. The attacks are intensifying because the chosen ones are rising. The world is being shaken because God is preparing His people for what is ahead. This is why you feel different. This is why your soul is restless. You were never meant to fit into this world, because you were called to rise above it. You were chosen for a divine purpose, and that purpose is about to be activated in ways you never imagined. But there's a warning. Many will miss this shift. Many will ignore the signs until it is too late. Do not be one of them. Pay attention, stay in prayer, seek wisdom and discernment, because God is speaking louder than ever, but only those who are truly awake will hear Him. The Great Deception. Why most will miss this call. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. Matthew 20:24. Right now, the greatest spiritual war is not being fought with weapons. It is being fought in the mind, in the heart, and in the spirit. And the enemy's most dangerous weapon is deception. The reason most people will miss this divine call is simple: they are trapped in illusions. They are living in a world that has been carefully designed to keep them blind, distracted, and spiritually numb. The systems of this world, media, entertainment, government, education, and even some religious institutions have been infiltrated with lies that keep people asleep. They are told what to think, what to believe, and what to desire. They are programmed to chase after material wealth, fame, social validation, and temporary pleasures, all things that pull them further from their true purpose. The enemy is a master manipulator. He does not come with horns and a pitchfork. He comes disguised as everything you think you want. He whispers lies that sound like truth. He convinces people that darkness is light and that light is darkness. The deception is so strong that even some of God's chosen ones are at risk of being led astray. Look around. People are distracted. They are glued to their screens, endlessly consuming content that poisons their spirit. They follow influencers, celebrities, and so-called thought leaders who promote self-worship instead of God. They chase after careers, relationships, and lifestyles that promise happiness but leave them empty. They are lost, but they don't even realize it. And here's the most dangerous part: many believe they are awake, but they are still asleep. Some think because they go to church, because they say they believe in God, that they are safe. But faith without true discernment is dangerous. Many are following false teachers, false doctrines, and watered-down messages that make them comfortable instead of calling them higher. They hear what makes them feel good, not what they need to hear. The enemy doesn't need to turn people into atheists to keep them from God. He just needs to keep them lukewarm, distracted, and deceived. This is why many will miss this call. They are too busy chasing illusions, too comfortable in their distractions, too blind to see the truth that is right in front of them. But you are different. You have felt the pull. You have sensed that something is wrong with the way the world operates. You have questioned things that others blindly accept. That is not random. That is God awakening you. But here's the warning: awakening is not enough. Knowing the truth and acting on it are two different things. Many will hear this message, but only a few will truly respond. The road is narrow, and most will choose comfort over calling. The question is, will you? The refining fire. Why you've been tested so much. Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. Isaiah 48:10. If you are truly chosen, then you know this journey has not been easy. You have been tested in ways most people can't even comprehend. You have faced betrayal, isolation, sudden losses, unexpected setbacks, and deep spiritual warfare. There have been moments when you wondered if you could even go on. But there is a reason for all of it. God does not call the weak. He calls the strong, and then He refines them even further. He does not place great power into untested hands. If you have been chosen, you must be prepared for the weight of your calling. And that preparation happens in the fire. Think about the people who have left your life. The opportunities that seemed perfect but fell apart. The moments of loneliness where you felt completely unseen. All of it was intentional. God has been removing everything that does not serve your divine purpose. He has been stripping away your attachments to people, places, and things that were holding you back. Because you cannot carry dead weight into your destiny. You may have asked, why me? Why has my journey been so much harder than everyone else's? The answer is simple: because you are not like everyone else. The refining fire is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is a transformation. It is what separates the chosen from the rest. Gold is purified through intense heat. Diamonds are formed under extreme pressure. Warriors are forged through battle. God is not trying to break you. He is making you unbreakable. Many people do not survive this process. They become bitter. They give up. They turn away from their calling because the fire is too much for them. But those who endure, the ones who trust God even when they don't understand, those are the ones who will rise in power. So, if you are still standing after everything you have been through, understand this: you are ready. God has tested you because He is about to elevate you. The hardships were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to strip away anything that was not aligned with your destiny. The world does not need more weak, untested voices. It needs warriors. It needs leaders. It needs those who have been through the fire and come out refined, stronger, and more aligned with their divine mission. The question now is, are you ready to step fully into who you were meant to be? The urgent instruction: what you must do now, but be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. James 1:22. This is not the time to hesitate. This is not the time to sit back and wait for more signs. You already know the truth. You already feel the urgency. Now, it's time to act. The enemy wants to keep you in a cycle of doubt, procrastination, and fear. He wants you to keep questioning yourself, keep waiting for the perfect moment, keep second-guessing whether you are truly chosen. But you already know you are. If you weren't, you wouldn't have made it this far. You wouldn't still be here, drawn to this message, feeling the fire inside you. So what must you do now? 1. Separate yourself from the distractions. The world is louder than ever. False voices are everywhere, trying to steal your focus. Turn off the noise. Step away from anything that weakens your spirit, whether it's toxic relationships, meaningless entertainment, unhealthy habits, or even religious traditions that lack true power. This is the season of clarity, and you cannot hear God's voice if your mind is cluttered with distractions. 2. Strengthen your connection with God. This is not the time for passive faith. This is the time for deep, intentional seeking. Fast, pray, meditate on His Word. Spend time in silence and listen. You cannot afford to rely on second-hand faith anymore. The level of power and wisdom you need can only come from a direct, unshakable relationship with God. If you do not prioritize this now, you will not be ready for what is coming. 3. Step boldly into your purpose. You have been prepared for something greater. But purpose does not activate by accident, it requires action. Whatever God has placed in your spirit, start moving toward it. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for everything to be perfect. Do not let fear keep you paralyzed. Obedience unlocks the next level. When you take the first step, God will reveal the next. 4. Guard your energy and protect your spirit. Not everyone will understand your calling. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some people around you will try to pull you back into old patterns. Some will mock you, discourage you, or even turn against you. That is confirmation that you are stepping into something powerful. Do not let their opinions distract you. You do not need their validation. You only need God's approval. 5. Be ready for acceleration. When God moves, He moves quickly. Doors that were once closed will suddenly open. Delays that held you back will be removed. But here's the key: you must be in position. If you are not prepared, you will not be able to handle what is coming. This is why you have been tested, why you have been refined, why you have been feeling the urgency. Everything is leading up to this moment. Final warning: do not miss this window. Many will hear this message, but only a few will act on it. Many will feel the urgency, but only a few will make the necessary changes. Many will sense the shift, but only a few will step boldly into their calling. The time is now. Move, act, align yourself with God's will, because what is coming next will separate those who were truly ready from those who hesitated. Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 20-14. This is it. The final call to action. You have heard the message. You have felt the urgency. And now the choice is yours. Will you step into your divine assignment, or will you let fear, doubt, and distractions keep you from what you were born to do? Understand this: there is no more time to wait. The world is shifting. The spiritual battle is intensifying, and God is calling His chosen ones to rise. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, the door is open, but it will not remain open forever. If you have been waiting for a sign, this is it. You have been tested, refined, and prepared for this moment. Everything you have been through has led to now. The question is not whether you are ready. The question is whether you will obey. Do not be one of the many who ignore the call. Be one of the few who answer it. What you must do now: declare your alignment with God. Speak it out loud. Claim your inheritance. Affirm that you are stepping fully into your divine purpose. Take immediate action. Cut off distractions. Remove toxic influences and start walking in obedience. Even if it's one small step today, strengthen your connection with God. Fast, pray, meditate, and seek divine wisdom like never before. There is no power without presence. Encourage and awaken others. If this message has stirred something in you, share it. Do not keep the truth to yourself. Your voice is part of your calling. This is your time. This is your moment. You were not chosen by accident. God does not make mistakes. If you are ready to step into your destiny, comment "I am chosen" below. Let it be a declaration. Let it be a commitment. The final warning has been given. Now, it's time to act. If you feel like your life has been a constant battle, if every time you try to rise, something tries to pull you back, understand this. It is not a coincidence. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And because you are chosen, you are in a war, an unseen battle between your divine calling and the forces that want to stop you from stepping into your purpose. From the moment you were set apart, the enemy saw your potential. He saw your light, your power, your mission even before you did. That is why the attacks came early. That is why you faced rejection, betrayal, and hardship before you even understood who you were meant to be. Many chosen ones experience pain from a young age, not because they are weak, but because the enemy tries to break them before they can awaken to their purpose. But listen carefully. What was meant to destroy you will only make you stronger. Every trial, every challenge, every setback is not proof of your failure, it is proof of your destiny. The greater the calling, the greater the resistance. If you are facing endless struggles, it is because you are a threat to the darkness. You were born to shift something in this world. And the enemy knows that if you ever fully step into your power, you will be unstoppable. This is why your journey has been filled with obstacles. The enemy does not attack those who are not a threat. The very fact that you are facing these tests means that God has a purpose for you beyond what you can imagine. The betrayals, the delays, the moments of isolation, these are not punishments. They are preparation. You are being refined, strengthened, and shaped into the person you were always meant to become. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Ephesians 6:12. This battle is bigger than what you can see. It is not just about you, it is about your mission, your impact, your legacy. You are being tested, not because you are weak, but because you are powerful. And if you refuse to give up, if you keep standing, if you keep pushing forward, your breakthrough is coming. So I ask you, will you keep fighting? Will you rise even when everything tries to push you down? Will you step into your calling, even if it means walking through the fire? Because this is not the end of your story, this is the beginning of your transformation. If you are a chosen one, you will face battles that others don't. You will go through storms that seem unfair, obstacles that feel relentless, and trials that make you question everything. But understand this, these tests are not here to break you, they are here to reveal you. 1. The enemy knows who you are before you do, before you even realized your calling. The enemy saw it. He saw the light inside you, the power you carry, and the purpose you were destined to fulfill. That's why your struggles didn't start when you became aware of your path, they started long before. Many chosen ones experience hardship from childhood. Maybe you faced rejection from family. Maybe you were misunderstood. Maybe you always felt different, set apart from the rest. This was never a mistake. Look at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He had a dream of greatness, but before he could step into it, he was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison. Why? Because the enemy knew who he was before Joseph fully understood his own destiny. But despite every setback, Joseph's purpose remained intact, and when the time was right, he rose to power. Your story is no different. The battles you have faced were never random, they were attempts to stop you before you could step into who you were always meant to be. But what God has ordained for you, no enemy can take away. 2. Spiritual warfare. Your purpose threatens darkness. If your life feels like a constant fight, it's because your existence alone is a threat to the forces of darkness. The greater your calling, the greater the opposition. The enemy doesn't attack those who are going nowhere, he attacks those who are about to change everything. But how does the enemy work? He doesn't always come as an obvious enemy. Instead, he attacks in ways that make you doubt yourself, your worth, and your path. The enemy's most common weapons against chosen ones: distractions, keeping you so busy and drained that you lose sight of your mission. Doubt, whispering thoughts like maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I misunderstood my calling. Isolation, making you feel alone, like no one understands your journey, so that you give up. Betrayal and rejection, using people closest to you to test your strength and faith. This is why your journey has been different from others. While some people seem to have an easy life, you have had to fight for every step forward. But that's because you are not meant for an ordinary life, you are meant for something greater. 3. God allows tests to strengthen you while the enemy may try to destroy you. God allows tests to prepare you. Every chosen one must go through a season of refinement. You cannot step into greatness without first being tested. Look at the pattern in Scripture. Moses had to spend years in the wilderness before leading his people to freedom. David was anointed king, but had to fight battles and endure betrayal before taking the throne. Jesus himself was tested in the wilderness for 40 days before stepping into his divine mission. If even the greatest had to go through trials, why would your journey be any different? The difference between those who are chosen and those who are not is simple. The chosen ones don't quit. They keep going, even when everything seems impossible. And because of that, they are the ones who rise. This is your test. Will you endure? Will you keep walking? Even when the road is dark, Will you trust that what is happening now is shaping you for something bigger? Because if you do, you will step into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. You now understand that the endless tests in your life are not punishments, but proof that you are chosen. But knowing this is not enough, you must also learn how to fight back. The enemy wants you to give up, to doubt yourself, to walk away from your destiny. But if you know how to stand firm, nothing can stop you from stepping into the life you were meant to live. 1. Recognize the patterns of attack. One of the most powerful things you can do as a chosen one is to recognize how the enemy operates. The attacks in your life are not random, there are patterns. And once you identify them, you can break free from them. Ask yourself, what situations in my life keep repeating? What distractions constantly pull me away from my purpose? What fears does the enemy try to use against me? For many chosen ones, the same battles show up over and over. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's toxic relationships. Maybe it's fear of failure. Whatever it is, it's time to recognize the pattern and break it. Because the moment you see the trap, you can avoid it. 2. Strengthen your spirit daily. This battle is not just physical, it is spiritual. You cannot fight a spiritual war with physical weapons. You must arm yourself with the tools God has given you, your spiritual weapons, prayer, your direct connection to God's power and guidance, fasting, a way to strengthen your spirit and break spiritual chains, the Word of God, your weapon against deception and doubt. Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11. The more you feed your spirit, the stronger you become. The enemy wants you weak, tired, and distracted, but when you stay connected to God, no attack can defeat you. 3. Stay focused. Don't let distractions derail you. One of the enemy's biggest strategies against chosen ones is distraction. He knows he cannot take away your calling. So instead, he tries to keep you so busy, so exhausted, and so caught up in negativity that you never step into it. Common distractions that delay chosen ones, toxic relationships that drain your energy, fear of what others think, keeping you from being bold, doubt that makes you procrastinate on your purpose, temporary pleasures that pull you away from long-term blessings. Chosen ones must learn to say nitrogen monoxide. No to people who do not support your mission. No to habits that weaken your spirit. No to anything that keeps you from the path God has set for you. If you can stay focused, no force in this world can stop you from walking into your destiny. Your time is now. You have been tested, but you have also been chosen. The battles you face are not here to destroy you, they are here to prepare you. The enemy only fights those who are a threat. And if you are facing constant trials, it is because you are meant for something greater than you can imagine. So, will you rise? Will you fight? Will you push forward even when the battle is tough? Because the moment you decide to stop running, to stop doubting, to stop letting fear control you, that is the moment you will step into the power that has been inside you all along. And when you do, nothing will be able to stop you. Every battle you have faced, every tear you have shed, and every moment of doubt you have overcome was never in vain. The war has been intense, the tests have been relentless. But you must remember this: God does not allow pain without purpose. What you have endured was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for something far greater than you can yet see. Think about it: diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is purified through fire, and warriors are made through battle. You are no different. The trials you have faced were not punishments, they were training. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the setbacks, they were all tools that God used to equip you for the calling on your life. You were not meant to live an ordinary life. That's why your path has been anything but ordinary. You were chosen to stand out, to rise, to lead, to inspire, and to walk a path that few have the strength to walk. The enemy tried to stop you because he saw your future. He saw what you would become if you didn't quit. But what he didn't realize is that every attack only made you stronger. Every rejection built your resilience. Every betrayal deepened your wisdom. Every setback increased your faith. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Isaiah 54:17. Your struggles were not signs of failure, they were signs of elevation. You were being prepared to step into a new level, a higher dimension of purpose. God does not give great callings to the weak, He strengthens those He calls through great challenges. Your victory is already written. You are now standing at a crossroads. Will you rise, or will you let the trials of life break you? Will you step forward in faith, or will you shrink back in fear? You must understand this. The war may not be over, but victory is already yours. The very fact that you are still here, still breathing, still fighting, means that you have already won battles others would not have survived. The chosen ones are called to endure because their breakthrough is meant to inspire generations. The lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, these are not just for you. They are for the people you are meant to impact, the lives you are meant to change, the legacy you are meant to leave behind. Your next chapter is waiting. Your breakthrough is near. The moment is now. So, stand up, keep going, keep believing, keep fighting. The tests you are facing are only temporary, but the victory that awaits you is eternal. You were not meant to stay in the darkness, you were born to shine. Declare it now. I am chosen. Let the universe know that you will not be defeated. Your victory is already written. There are no coincidences in this life. If you are here, it is because you were meant to hear this message. You may have felt different your entire life, like you never quite fit in, like the world around you was moving in one direction while something deep within you pulled you toward another. That feeling wasn't random. It was a sign, proof that you are one of the chosen ones. From the moment you were born, the world tried to mold you into something you were never meant to be. Society placed expectations on you, told you what to believe, how to act, and who to become. But something inside you resisted. You couldn't shake the feeling that you were made for something more. Something beyond the ordinary. You weren't meant to blend in, to follow the crowd, or to live a life of quiet conformity. No, you were set apart, chosen for a divine purpose, and the forces of this world have worked tirelessly to keep you from realizing it. For too long, the truth about who you are has been hidden from you. But the time of unknowing is over. Today, the veil is being lifted. Today, you will hear what was meant for you all along. The divine secrets that have been waiting to be revealed at the right moment. And that moment is now. The journey of a chosen one is not easy. You have been tested in ways that others could never understand. You have faced trials that felt unbearable, betrayals that cut deep, and seasons of loneliness where you questioned if you were truly alone in this world. But I am here to tell you that everything you have endured was not in vain. You were never abandoned. You were being refined. Every hardship was designed to make you stronger, to prepare you for the role you were always meant to step into. There is a reason you have felt different. There is a reason your soul has always longed for something deeper. Something real, something beyond the surface. That longing was not just a desire, it was a calling. And now, you stand at the threshold of revelation. The divine secrets that have been hidden from you are about to come to light. And once you hear them, you will never see yourself the same way again. You will understand why your path has been so difficult. You will understand why certain people were removed from your life. You will understand why you have always been set apart. This is the moment you have been waiting for. What you are about to receive will awaken something deep within your spirit. It will confirm what you have always felt but never fully understood. Stay with me until the end, because today you will step into the truth of who you are. and nothing will ever be the same again. From the moment you entered this world, you were different, not because of anything external, but because of something deeply rooted in your spirit. Something powerful, something divine. You were marked by God before you even took your first breath. And though you may not have fully understood it, deep down, you always knew there was something about you that didn't quite blend in with the rest of the world. You weren't meant to. You've likely felt it since childhood, the feeling of being set apart. You saw the world differently. You sensed things that others didn't. While others were content to follow the crowd, you had a voice inside you telling you to walk a different path. And because of this, life has never been easy. The moment you were chosen, opposition began. Forces beyond your understanding tried to silence you, suppress your gifts, and convince you that you were unworthy of your calling. But despite it all, you're still here. And that, in itself, is proof of who you are. Look back on your life. Think about the moments where you should have given up, where the weight of the world felt unbearable. Yet, somehow, you made it through. You faced trials that would have broken others. And still, you rose. You walked through storms that should have destroyed you. Yet you emerged stronger. That is not by accident. That is by divine design. You were never meant to live an ordinary life because your purpose is extraordinary. And every battle you have fought has been preparing you for this exact moment. Have you ever wondered why certain doors shut in your face while others around you seem to succeed effortlessly? Why you were denied opportunities, relationships, or paths that seemed perfect? Why, no matter how hard you tried to fit in, something inside you resisted? It is because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to walk a road less traveled, one carved out specifically for you. What felt like rejection was actually protection. What seemed like a delay was divine timing. What appeared to be failure was God redirecting you toward something greater. It's time to recognize that you were never being punished. You were being prepared. Think about the trials you faced. They weren't meant to destroy you, they were meant to refine you. Gold is purified through fire. Diamonds are formed under immense pressure. Warriors are made in battle, not in comfort. You were placed in the fire because God knew you could withstand it. You endured the pressure because something precious was being formed within you. And you fought battles that most people will never understand because you were chosen for a purpose that most people will never experience. The truth is, you are not like everyone else. And that is why life has tested you in ways that others could never comprehend. The enemy has tried to break you, to confuse you, to make you question your worth. But no matter how many times you stumbled, no matter how many times you doubted yourself, no matter how many times you felt lost, you never stopped moving forward. And that alone is proof of your divine strength. But now, it is time for you to wake up to the truth. The trials were never about breaking you, they were about preparing you. The rejection was never about your worth, it was about your protection. And the struggles were never about punishing you, they were about shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. You are standing at the threshold of something greater than you have ever imagined. The divine secrets that have been hidden from you are about to be revealed. But before you step into your destiny, you must let go of everything that has been holding you back. The doubts, the fears, the past. You must open your heart and silence the voices that have tried to convince you that you are anything less than chosen. Because what comes next will change everything. Are you ready? Because the time has come. If you are here, listening to these words, it is not by accident. Something deep within your spirit has been searching for confirmation, for understanding, for truth, and now you are about to receive what has been hidden from you for so long. Since the beginning of time, the chosen ones have walked a path unlike any other. A path filled with trials, with opposition, and with moments of deep isolation. Why? Because you were never meant to be like the rest. You were set apart for a greater purpose, and the world has tried to keep you from realizing it. The system was designed to keep you distracted, to make you doubt yourself, to convince you that you are powerless. But the truth is, you were never powerless. You were never ordinary. You see, the chosen ones carry something within them that most people do not. An inner light, a divine frequency, an unshakable connection to God's wisdom. This is why you have always been different. This is why you have always felt things more deeply, seen things others could not, and experienced a calling you could never quite explain. The world tried to convince you that this was a weakness, but in reality, it has always been your greatest strength. Look at your life. Look at the battles you have faced. There's a reason why you have endured struggles that others have not. There's a reason why you have felt alone in rooms full of people. There's a reason why no matter how much you have tried to walk the same path as others, something within you always resisted. It is because your spirit was never meant to follow the crowd. Your spirit was designed to lead, but the world does not want leaders. It does not want free thinkers. It does not want those who operate on a higher frequency, those who see beyond the illusions. That is why so many of you have faced resistance at every turn. That is why people have underestimated you, doubted you, and even turned against you. Not because you were wrong, but because your presence alone is a disruption to the system they have built. Think about it. Why do certain people suddenly distance themselves from you when you step into your power? Why do challenges arise the moment you decide to pursue your purpose? Why does it seem like every time you are close to a breakthrough, something tries to pull you back down? It is because the moment you recognize your true identity, the moment you start to break free from the programming, you become a threat. But here's what they never wanted you to realize. You were never meant to live in fear. You were never meant to play small. You were never meant to stay silent. Everything that has been hidden from you, your true power, your divine authority, your spiritual gifts, is now being revealed. And once you see the truth, you can never go back. The trials you have faced were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to awaken you, to remind you of who you truly are, to prepare you for what is coming next. And now, as you stand on the edge of this revelation, you must make a choice. Will you continue to let the world dictate your path? Or will you step into the truth of your divine calling? Because once you embrace who you were always meant to be, nothing and no one can stop you. The secrets they tried to keep from you are now in your hands. And the power they never wanted you to have, it has been yours all along. For so long, you have questioned yourself. You have felt different, out of place, as if you were walking through a world that does not quite understand you. And the truth is, it never did. You were not meant to blend in. You were not meant to fit into the system that was built to suppress your light. You were meant to rise, to lead, to walk in a power that few can comprehend. But here is the secret they never wanted you to know. You have been powerful all along. The world conditioned you to believe that power comes from status, wealth, or control, but real power, divine power, comes from within. It is not something that can be bought, manipulated, or taken away. It is something that was placed inside of you before you even entered this world. It is the authority that comes from divine favor, the strength that is built through endurance, the wisdom that is forged through every trial and tribulation. Every time you faced rejection, every time you were misunderstood, every time you stood alone, those were not punishments. Those were initiations. You were being prepared for something greater. Because the chosen ones are not made in comfort. They are made in fire. Think back on your life. The signs have always been there. The way you could sense things before they happened. The way people were drawn to you, seeking guidance, wisdom, or simply your presence. The way you could walk into a room and feel the energy shift. That was not coincidence. That was not random. That was your divine essence making itself known. But the world tried to convince you otherwise. It told you that you were too sensitive, too intense, too much. It tried to dull your shine, to make you question your own worth, to keep you from stepping into your full power. Because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. The moment you recognize who you truly are, the illusions crumble, and that terrifies those who benefit from keeping you in the dark. This is why your journey has been filled with obstacles. This is why you have been attacked, doubted, and even betrayed. Not because you were weak, but because you were strong. Not because you were lost, but because you were chosen. The enemy does not fight those who are not a threat. And you, my friend, have always been a force to be reckoned with. Now, the time has come for you to see yourself clearly, to step out of the shadows of doubt and into the brilliance of your true nature. To stop playing small, stop seeking approval, stop waiting for the world to validate what has already been divinely ordained. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were never meant to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You were never meant to hide your gifts, your vision, your calling. You were meant to lead, to shine, to be a living testament to the power and purpose that comes with being chosen. So what will you do now? Will you continue to question what has already been revealed to you? Will you keep allowing fear to hold you back? Or will you rise? Will you walk boldly in the authority that has been given to you? Because the truth is, your power has never been about what the world thinks of you. It has always been about what was placed inside of you before you even took your first breath. And once you embrace it fully, unapologetically, fearlessly, nothing and no one will be able to stop you. This is your moment. The time for hesitation is over. The time for doubting yourself is over. The time for waiting is over. Step into your divine authority, because the world is waiting for you to shine. If you are one of the chosen ones, then you have walked a path unlike any other. Your life has been marked by struggle, isolation, and challenges that most people would not understand. At times, you may have even questioned why everything seems so much harder for you. Why does it feel like no matter how much you give, how much you love, or how much you try to do the right thing, you are met with opposition? But here is the truth: they saw your power before you did. The difficulties you have faced were not random. They were not accidents. They were not because you were unworthy. In fact, it was the opposite. You were always meant for something greater. And the forces that thrive on darkness have been trying to keep you from realizing it. Look back at your life. Think about the moments when you were close to a breakthrough. When you were about to step into something new, something powerful. Suddenly, out of nowhere, everything started to fall apart. You lost friendships. You were betrayed. You were misunderstood, attacked, or left feeling completely alone. This is not by coincidence. This is the hidden battle that chosen ones must endure. When you carry divine light within you, you become a threat, not to regular people, but to the unseen forces that operate in this world. These forces do not want you to wake up. They do not want you to recognize your power. They do not want you to step fully into your destiny, because the moment you do, you break free from their control. This is why certain people have tried to bring you down. It is why you have been surrounded by jealousy, by negativity, by individuals who pretended to support you, but secretly wanted to see you fail. You have been tested over and over again, not because you were weak, but because you were strong enough to handle it. A diamond does not become valuable without intense pressure. Gold is not purified without fire, and chosen ones are not activated without trials. The world has tried to break you, but it has only made you stronger. It has tried to silence you, But your voice has only become louder. And now, you are beginning to see the truth that everything you have endured was shaping you, refining you, preparing you. But here is the good news. The trials were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to awaken you. They were meant to remind you of who you really are. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are a warrior. You are a light bearer. You are someone whose presence shifts atmospheres, whose energy cannot be ignored, whose purpose is far greater than what this world tried to convince you of. And now, it is time to let go of the pain that was meant to shape you, but not define you. Time to release the people who were never meant to walk this path with you. Time to rise above the distractions, the doubts, the fears, and step fully into the calling that has always been yours. Because the battle has already been won. The victory is already yours, and the world is about to witness exactly why you were chosen. Everything you have experienced, every trial, every moment of doubt, every painful setback, it was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to fit in. The world may have tried to convince you otherwise, but deep down, you have always known the truth. You are one of the chosen ones. And now, as you stand on the edge of a new chapter, you must remember this: the time for questioning your worth is over. The time for seeking validation from those who cannot see your light is over. The time for doubting your destiny is over. You were set apart for a reason. You were called to a higher purpose. Everything you have endured has been shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for this very moment. Now, it is your turn to step into your divine power. No more fear, no more hesitation, no more shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. This is the season where you rise. This is the moment where you claim what has always been yours. The world may not have understood you, but that does not matter. The people who tried to hold you back, the forces that tried to silence you, they were never stronger than the calling on your life. They never had the final say. And now, it is time to move forward, not with fear, but with faith, not with hesitation, but with certainty. Because what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. So, if you are ready, if you feel this message speaking directly to your spirit, then step into it, embrace it, own it, and before you go, if this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Share your experience, your thoughts, your testimony. Hit that like button if you are ready to claim your divine victory. And don't forget to subscribe, because this journey is only just beginning. Your breakthrough is here. Your time is now, and the world is about to witness exactly why you were chosen.
Have you ever paused in the midst of life's busyness and asked, why am I here? What is the purpose of all this? These questions are as old as humanity itself, whispered in the stillness of our hearts and pondered across generations. They point to a longing that goes beyond the temporary, a longing for significance, understanding, and connection with something greater than ourselves. You are not here by accident. Your existence is no mere chance. Instead, you are part of a divine design, a masterpiece woven by the Creator of the universe. Every thread of your life, joys and sorrows, triumphs and struggles, has a purpose that leads back to the eternal. This realization not only transforms how we live, but also how we view ourselves, our relationships, and the challenges we face. Today, we will dive deeply into this profound truth. Together, we will explore what it means to live with divine purpose, to approach life with an eternal perspective, and to find peace and meaning in God's plan. This is more than a message. It is an invitation to see life anew. Imagine a skilled artist, carefully painting a masterpiece. Each stroke is intentional, every color chosen with care, and no detail is overlooked. Now consider that your life is this masterpiece, and God is the divine artist. Before you were born, he imagined you, not just your physical body, but your personality, your potential, and your purpose. In Jeremiah 1:5, God declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This profound truth reminds us that we are not accidents of biology or chance. We are purposeful creations, designed with a specific role in God's eternal plan. Your place in God's plan. Think about the intricate design of your life, the relationships you built, the challenges you faced, and the dreams that fill your heart. None of these are random. They are threads in the tapestry God is weaving. Even the difficult moments, the times when you feel lost or broken, are being used by Him to create something beautiful. When you embrace this truth, it changes everything. You begin to see your struggles not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Your achievements become not just personal victories, but reflections of God's glory. And your life, in all its complexity, becomes a testament to the divine care and purpose of its Creator. Living as God's masterpiece. To live as God's masterpiece is to live with intention. It is to wake up each day knowing that your life matters, that your actions have eternal significance, and that you are a reflection of His love. It is an invitation to align your goals with His will and to let His light shine through you in every circumstance. Are you ready to see yourself as God sees you? To trust in His plan, even when you don't understand it? When you do, you'll find a peace and purpose that surpasses anything the world can offer. What would happen if you knew your life didn't end with death? That every moment you lived was part of an eternal story? This is the truth for those who believe in God's promises. Life on earth is temporary, but your existence is eternal. Shifting from temporary to eternal. The world teaches us to chase after fleeting things, wealth, fame, success, but Jesus offers a different perspective. In Matthew 6:19-21, He says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven." What are these heavenly treasures? They are acts of kindness, faith, and love. They are the moments when we choose to forgive, to serve, and to trust God over our own understanding. These treasures are eternal. They cannot be stolen, broken, or destroyed. Freedom from earthly striving. When we focus on eternity, we are freed from the pressures of earthly striving. No longer do we need to measure our worth by our possessions or achievements. Instead, we find our value in being God's children. This freedom allows us to live with joy, generosity, and purpose. How can you begin to live with an eternal perspective today? Perhaps it's by shifting your focus from what you can gain to what you can give, or by finding peace in the knowledge that God's plan for you extends far beyond this life. Whatever it is, know that every step you take toward eternity brings you closer to the life you were created for. At the heart of God's plan is love. Love for Him, love for ourselves, and love for others. And it is through our relationships that this love is most powerfully expressed. Seeing others as eternal beings. How often do we view people through the lens of their actions, roles, or circumstances? A colleague might be seen as a competitor, a family member as a responsibility, or a stranger as irrelevant. But when we view others as eternal beings, created in God's image, our perspective changes. In 1 John 4:12 we read, "If we love one another, God lives in us, and His love is made complete in us." This means that every interaction is an opportunity to reflect God's love. When we choose compassion over judgment, patience over frustration, and service over self-interest, we are participating in His eternal plan. Relationships as eternal investments. Relationships are among the few things in this life that echo into eternity. When you invest in others through encouragement, support, or simply being present, you are building treasures in heaven. These moments of connection are not just meaningful, they are eternal. But this kind of love is not always easy. It requires forgiveness, humility, and the willingness to see others through God's eyes. It challenges us to let go of grudges, to bridge divides, and to love even when it's hard. Building an eternal legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? When you invest in relationships with an eternal perspective, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your lifetime. Your love, kindness, and faith can inspire others, draw them closer to God, and leave a lasting impact on the world. At the heart of God's plan is love. Love for Him, love for ourselves, and love for others. And it is through our relationships that this love is most powerfully expressed. Seeing others as eternal beings. How often do we view people through the lens of their actions, roles, or circumstances? A colleague might be seen as a competitor, a family member as a responsibility, or a stranger as irrelevant. But when we view others as eternal beings, created in God's image, our perspective changes. In 1 John 4:12 we read, "If we love one another, God lives in us, and His love is made complete in us." This means that every interaction is an opportunity to reflect God's love. When we choose compassion over judgment, patience over frustration, and service over self-interest, we are participating in His eternal plan. Relationships as eternal investments. Relationships are among the few things in this life that echo into eternity. When you invest in others through encouragement, support, or simply being present, you are building treasures in heaven. These moments of connection are not just meaningful, they are eternal. But this kind of love is not always easy. It requires forgiveness, humility, and the willingness to see others through God's eyes. It challenges us to let go of grudges, to bridge divides, and to love even when it's hard. Building an eternal legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? When you invest in relationships with an eternal perspective, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your lifetime. Your love, kindness, and faith can inspire others, draw them closer to God, and leave a lasting impact on the world. At the core of the Christian faith is the profound example set by Jesus Christ. His life was a testament to unwavering trust in God's plan, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. As believers, we are called to follow this example, not just in moments of ease, but especially in moments of trial. The Garden of Gethsemane, a moment of surrender. The night before his crucifixion, Jesus faced an agonizing choice. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he knelt and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Matthew 26:39. This prayer reveals two things: Jesus' humanity and his divinity. In his humanity, he felt the weight of what lay ahead, the betrayal, the physical agony, the separation from God as he bore the sins of the world. Yet in his divinity, he submitted fully to the Father's will. Imagine the depth of this moment. Jesus, the Son of God, knew he could call upon legions of angels to rescue him. He could have chosen another path, but he didn't. He chose obedience, surrendering his desires to align with God's greater plan for humanity's redemption. Surrender in our lives, learning from Christ. This act of surrender is not just a historical event, it's a model for our lives. How often do we face situations that feel overwhelming? Perhaps it's the loss of a loved one, the uncertainty of a career path, or the strain of a broken relationship. In those moments, we too are called to kneel and pray, "Not as I will, but as you will." But surrendering to God's will is not easy. It requires trust. Trust that His plan is greater than our understanding, that His ways are higher than ours. Isaiah 55:8-9. It means letting go of control and allowing God to lead, even when the path ahead is unclear or painful. The cross, the ultimate act of love. Jesus' surrender led to the cross, where He bore the weight of all humanity's sin. This was not a defeat, but a victory over sin, death, and separation from God. Through His sacrifice, He opened the door to eternal life for all who believe. The cross teaches us that suffering can have purpose. Just as Jesus' pain led to humanity's redemption, our struggles can lead to growth, transformation, and a deeper connection with God. They become opportunities to reflect His love, to bear witness to His grace, and to strengthen our faith. Death is a topic that many shy away from. It is often seen as the ultimate end, a moment of loss and separation. But for believers, death is not an end. It is a beginning. It is a transition from the temporary to the eternal, From the shadows of this world to the radiant light of God's presence, Jesus promised a place prepared. In John 14:2-3, Jesus offers a promise of hope. "My Father's house has many rooms. I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me." This assurance transforms our understanding of death. Instead of fearing it, we can approach it with peace and even anticipation. It is not the loss of life, but the fulfillment of it. It is the moment when we step into the fullness of God's love and glory. What awaits us in eternity? The Bible gives us glimpses of the life to come, perfect communion with God. In heaven, we will experience an intimacy with God that surpasses anything we've known on earth. Revelation 21:3 declares, "Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them." This is the ultimate reunion, where we are no longer separated by sin, but united in perfect harmony with our Creator. Freedom from pain and sorrow. Revelation 21:4 offers a beautiful promise. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Imagine a life free from suffering, where every wound is healed and every heartache is forgotten. A life of joy and purpose. Eternity is not a passive existence. It is a life filled with joy, worship, and purpose. We will reign with Christ, 2 Timothy 2:12, explore the wonders of His creation, and share in the fullness of His glory. Facing death with faith. Even with these promises, the prospect of death can be daunting. It requires faith, a faith that trusts in God's word and His promises. When we see death not as an end, but as a passage to eternal life, it changes how we live. We begin to cherish each moment, to love more deeply, and to serve with greater passion, knowing that our time on earth is a preparation for the life to come. If eternity awaits us, how should we live today? This question lies at the heart of our journey. Knowing that our lives are part of God's eternal plan calls us to live with gratitude, purpose, and intention. The gift of gratitude. Gratitude transforms how we see the world. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we begin to see the abundance of God's blessings. Each sunrise becomes a reminder of His faithfulness, each breath a testament to His grace. The Apostle Paul writes in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." This doesn't mean we ignore pain or pretend everything is perfect. Rather, it means recognizing that even in trials, God is present, working for our good, Romans 8:28. Purpose in every moment. Living with purpose means seeing every day as an opportunity to glorify God. It means asking, how can I reflect His love today? How can I use my gifts to serve others? How can I grow in faith? Purpose is not found in grand gestures, but in daily faithfulness. It is in the kindness we show to a stranger, the time we spend in prayer, the encouragement we offer to a friend. These small acts done with love become part of God's eternal story. Walking boldly in faith. Finally, living with an eternal perspective means walking boldly in faith. It means trusting God in the face of uncertainty, standing firm in trials, and sharing His hope with the world. As the Apostle Paul declares in 2 Timothy 1:7, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." When we live this way, our lives become a reflection of God's glory. They become a beacon of hope in a world longing for meaning, and they echo into eternity, leaving a legacy of faith that inspires generations to come. As we've journeyed through these profound truths about death and eternal life, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Your life has immense value, both now and forever. The challenges, questions, and moments of uncertainty you face are all part of a greater narrative, a divine story written by God, where death is not the end, but a doorway to something infinitely greater. Jesus said in John 11:25-26, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die." These words are not just promises, but a call to live courageously, to trust fully, and to embrace the eternal perspective that transforms every aspect of our lives. For the chosen ones, understanding the truth about death and eternal life isn't about fear. It's about hope. It's about living each day with purpose, knowing that your actions, your faith, and your love ripple into eternity. It's about stepping boldly into your calling, confident that God's plan for you stretches far beyond what you can see. As you continue on your journey, remember this: you are never alone. God walks with you in every moment, guiding you toward the fulfillment of His eternal purpose for your life. Embrace this truth, let it shape your decisions, and share the hope of eternal life with those around you. The hidden truth is no longer hidden. It's a gift freely given to those who seek it. Now it's up to you to live it out. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and hope. Until next time, may you walk boldly in your purpose, guided by faith and the promise of eternal life.